Hello, everyone. Today we will see the introduction of materials, and on page 123 and 124, you will see how you can work with material properties and assets. And I will show you the demo here as well. So, when you have to learn about materials and how to insert material, how to create material, you need to go in a Manage tab here. If you click on the Manage tab, in this left corner on top, there is a Materials. So if you click on Materials, you will see this box in front of you. Okay, so this left side pane shows the material type, and then on your right side pane, you have all the properties of materials. Okay, so if you see on the top part of this left pane, you have all the materials that shows in the properties in the project. So this shows the project materials, and if you go down all the way here, can you see this chevron icon? If you just click on that, okay. If you see around in here, this is a library that Revit has it. Right now, you don't see anything in there, but if you just click on this home, you will see this library that you can find. Okay, so let's see if you see how many materials is already in the project. There are multiple materials already in the project. So if you click next to all, there is a filter project. So if you just click on carpet, you will see how many carpet you have in this project. If you click on laminate, you can see what are the different laminates you have in this project. If you can just go on paint and see what are the other projects in the project materials are in the project. And if you see there is something around on this side as well, if you click on that drop down arrow, there is all the type how you can change the appearance of your material library. So if you see it shows show all, so you need to show all the materials in the project, or you can just select the show in use materials in the project, or you can just say show unused materials. So obviously, if you have less unused material, the list will be less. So we will just keep it show all. And then if you see the view type, right, how you want to see the material library as per your preference. So this is thumbnail view. If you see the thumbnail view, you just see the thumbnail of materials, but you don't see the name, the complete name, right? Then if you have a list view where you don't see, you have the materials, that thumbnail of the material and the list, like you have a name of that. And there's just a text view where you just see the name of the material. But when you see the best and the preferred one is the list view where you can see the whole name of the material and the thumbnail of the material, so that you can just see, okay, what I have selected. I want to select this one, or I want to select this one, and make sure that I have added to in my project. Okay, so this is all the materials in the project. And then there are materials that Revit has in their library. Okay, so now let's just search. Uh, if I have to find a brick material, I will just find the brick material in here. So there is no brick in my project, but now you can see that there is, let me just make it a bigger. If you see, there are multiple brick options came in Revit library. So you can choose from any one of these and you can copy to your project. Okay, let's just find that we can use in our project. So let me just find a concrete. Sorry. Let's just find a carpet. Because of this, I'll just make sure that I have selected the project material to all, so I can see how many carpet type I have already used in this project. So they have multiple carpet I can see in here. And if I go in the Revit library, there are different carpet options and color options in here as well. Okay, so we have learned about how the material you can see on the left plane. Now we need to understand what is on the right side of the pane. So if I just click on the carpet here, okay, now if I just select any of the material, you see there are some appearance. So if you see here the identity, this is just a basic introduction information project, about that material, and then you have the graphic view, how it looks, and the appearance in here. Okay, so appearance is always related to rendering. So whatever you see, that material will appear when you rendered your images from Revit. And the graphics, what you see here, this you will see whatever you have added in here, that you will see in different types of view. So what views I'm talking about, if you see, I will not able to get in there. Let me just turn off this one here. And if you just click on the visual style, if I just click on the visual style, there is a wireframe, hidden, shaded, consistent, and texture. All these different types of view style or visual style, in there you can appear the graphic scale, but when you see select the realistic one, it will show what is in appearance or the rendering one. Okay, so let me go back to materials. So if you see here, when I change to appearance in rendering, it changes, but when you just keep it consistent color, it looks different, right? So let's go to materials. Now let's find again a carpet and understand more information about the material. So if I select this carpet again in here, and if you see the graphics, is you have something in here. This is a surface pattern. If you have some texture, you have multiple different carpet in each room, you can just assign some pattern to that from there, so you can see when you are looking at in your floor plan. Okay, but we don't have to add anything right now, but I'm just showing you can add all the cut patterns. The cut patterns means when you cut through the wall or cut through the section, that cut pattern will appear. But carpet will be like really tiny, but if you have a brick pattern, if you have a brick wall, then you can just show the brick pattern, cut pattern in here. So when you cut through that wall, you will able to see this kind of like you can have all the different hatch patterns that you have learned in your drafting. Now let's talk about the appearance in here. So if you see here, there is a carpet view that you can just select a different scene and see how it looks, just to know that how it has a texture on there. So you can just change the way it looks or a plane. So if this is like a more of a plain version of the carpet, or you can just select the cube that what was here. So if you see here, that's the color that you have selected. So you can just click on the edit type, you can change the color, and then there is the image here. So this is like what is from project, but when you're selecting any of the other different carpet, you can just click on it and change the finished carpet, the one from your vendor you have selected, and you can change that image in there. And then if you want to change, like add for the carpet, you will not have a glossiness, but you can just like click on all these drop downs. You can have all the stuff that you can work on depending upon what material is, because transparency illumination will not have this characteristic to the carpet, but there will be a bump. So this is like a similar material. If you see on the top here, there's the same material, same uh, texture that you have that is just in a black and white. So when you add that bump, it will just overlap and make it a realistic effects when you rendered in Enscape or in cloud. Okay, so that I will talk about when we will do the rendering materials. How to do that, I will talk about that. But this is just an introduction to materials, so you don't have to go in detail. But just to understand that, like you have all the appearance and graphics and identify, these are the more information about the material, how it appears. And this will go when you add detail schedule or something like that. So you can add more details when you are working in a bigger project uh, in your industry. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about something like this, now when you have this carpet already here, okay? And there is some more stuff. When you see here, there is create, open, edit, user defined libraries. You can create a material or duplicate material, right? So this is the original one that you already have in the material in your project. But when we are working, we need to create, we need to duplicate material. So for that, I want to make sure that just check what you see in this part. Can you see that's the hand and a zero attached to it? And if you go on this side, there is replace this asset or duplicate these assets. So this is really important when you're using or duplicating any material, because you don't want to change uh, the the original one, right? So let me just duplicate this one, and you will understand what I'm talking about. If you see there is a carpet here, I will just say duplicate material and in assets, or duplicate using share assets. Okay, so usually you can just create, like if I have to say this is the create and duplicate material, you can just create a new material. If I just create a new material, a default new material, if I just created here, okay? There is nothing in here. So if you see the identity, you need to change the name, you need to add description. Then if you go in a graphics, that I'll come to later, the appearance. If you see here in a carpet, there was something already in there. This information is not there because you have just a generic one, generic material, generic everything. But when you do the carpet or when you do some glass, they have some characteristics, right? This is generic. So you need to add all the details about that materials. You need to, if this is a glass, you need to add transparency. If it is again a glass, you need to add some reflectivity and everything, right? But you don't know how much to add, you don't want to play with it, right? So I would always suggest, don't just create a new material, but always try to duplicate material with their assets. You don't want to share any asset, because again, when you're changing anything, any characteristic of that material, you need to make sure that is unique. So when I'm talking about the zero, let's do the carpet again. Let's see, find the carpet. Where is the carpet? Okay, so when I want to do this, just notice here, okay, I'm just right clicking on it, and I will just say duplicate using share asset. So when I said share asset, you get a carpet one, okay? I will just rename it as a carpet two. When I rename that carpet two, let's just go to carpet two. You see the hand is with one. And if you see the carpet one is also showing hand with one. Before we duplicating this, it was showing zero. Okay, so this is really important. If you see one number on top of that hand, that means you're using the same material to some other, sorry, same asset to some other material. Okay. So whatever you do, any changes in here, if this is a carpet, you change the color. Let's just change that material. Let's just change this. I will just change something with this one. Okay. Whatever it is in there. And then you just notice that what happened here when I change the carpet 2, the carpet 1 is also changed. Why? Because they both have a same asset that we are sharing. So when we are duplicating, you need to remember when we are duplicating any project, let me just do Control Z. Let's just do, let's just cancel this. And then again, open the materials and find the carpet. So I didn't save it, so you just see back again, that's 0. So whenever you need to, like, as I said, we have the carpet, you have these, all the bump and everything. So when I'm just doing it again, so let's just duplicate now. This time when I'm duplicating this, okay, duplicate material and asset. So when I do duplicate material and asset, you will have, again, if you see here now, carpet 1, let me just do save this as carpet 2. Okay, so now we have carpet 1 and carpet 2, and that hand doesn't have any number, it just says 0. Means this material with assert, we are changing it, it will be the same. Okay, or sometimes, like, let me just now change this to say marble. And now you see the carpet 1 is the red same, and carpet 2, when I change it, it changed the appearance the when I changed it. So you need to make sure whenever you are using any material, you need to change that the asset. So this was the one thing, you can just right click on it and say duplicate material and asset. And if you just duplicate using the share material, something like this, you can just change if you just replace this asset. So sometimes what happens, you have a carpet, you have all the thing that you wanted to have, all these qualities you wanted to have, but you need to replace this asset with something new from the gallery. So I will find, okay, let's find any other, I will just select maybe something, a carpet rattan. And now when you have to select these, can you see here that arrows? Just click on that. That means you have copied that in there, and then you have changed that carpet to, when we select it, it just takes that appearance. And when you see here, the graphics identity has changed to carpet 2, interior finish, class is carpet, graphics, appearance. So appearance is, see here, that's a tan color image that you will see. Again, you will have some relief bump pattern in there that will be same as this one. And it has the name, description, and what material you can see there. So now let's talk about the graphics here. So if you see, there is some color in here. So when I say this will be appear when you render it, right? And this will appear whenever you see in a colored image or consistent color. But sometimes if you see that this is in tan or a beige color, but this looks like more of a red. So when you have to make sure that both the colors should be same, you just select the use render appearance. And can you see that that red color has changed to the same color? So always whenever you want to see how it looks, in the appearance, make sure you select the use render appearance when you're using any material. Okay, so that was about this. Now let's talk about like these two different. When we change the carpet to there, like in the first one, we just selected and just duplicated. Can you see there is a orange triangle next to it? So what does that mean? That is like for improved rendering, replace the current appearance asset in the material with a newer version. Why? Wherever you see that yellow or that orange triangle next to that material, that means your material is a poor quality. So when you render that, it will appear in really a low quality image, right? Or it will not show a good quality materials, or it will not look more realistic. So you need to change that to a higher quality. Now, if you see here where you have these material, it doesn't have that arrow. That means this is a really good quality carpet. And when I change it, if I just select that one again and select the appearance, that I change it like when with using the replace this asset. So you see, when you're replacing any asset, you from the library and you have lot of options. If you click on these different options, the arrows, you have lot of options in here. These are not matching because I have searched in the carpet, and we have just working on the carpet. So it will just show you the carpet one, okay? So now if you see like more of a tile version there, you have all these appearance. So this is again, when you have the yellow, this is the low quality. So when you're doing and looking for something, go for where you don't have that orange yellow triangle next to it. That means you have a really high quality image. Sometimes we usually find our image. If I have to find, like I can just go on a Shaw carpet and just select that carpet, save this image. Like I will just save this image, and then I will add, like upload this image. If you just click on it, and you can just upload your Shaw image from your like carpet image from your courses. So wherever you have saved that, okay? So you can use materials as per your choice, the way you want it. But as I said, I will talk that in detail when we start working on the renderings, okay? But this is just a basic introduction so you know what and how to add materials, okay? So this was the basic introduction that you can go through more into detail of your materials and find how to add different kinds of materials, okay? Now let's talk about why we need to learn this, understand this. So I was talking about in our elevation, sometimes we want to do the frosted glass. So how we will do that? So to make a frosted glass, we need to understand the materials, right? So now let's go back to materials in here, okay? And let's find the glass. So we have a clear gray glass, clear glazing, and a glass. Okay, so let's understand when we are in the glazing. I will just select using my tab any of the system panel glazed. Okay, so that's system panel glaze. I will go in edit type and I will see what's the material in here, and it shows glass. Okay, so it's glaze panel and it shows simple glass. So we know that that material is glass. Now let me just go back to materials. So that's the glass. Okay, so you have appearance. That's the graphic appearance that you will see usually, and that's the clear. this is use render appearance. That's why whenever we see it shows in a blue. We have not done the use render appearance. When you do the use render appearance, it will look white, but we don't want to. We want to keep it uh, blue so we can see the difference between the glaze and the frosted one. Okay, so we have a glass. Now what we will do, okay, we will duplicate this glass and then we will make it as a frosted. Okay, so what I will do, I will right click on it. Okay, I will right click on it and say duplicate material and assert. And I will say frosted. Okay, make sure you are in a frosted. I'll just rename it glass frosted so we will know what frosted it is. Okay, make sure you are in the frosted glass and then go in appearance. Okay, and then here where you have the replace this assert, we will replace this and find frosted. So if you see here, when I'm looking for, I was search frosted and I find frosted white and a glass frosted. So this is a frosted white and frosted glass frosted appearance transparent glass texture. I that looks like a solid glass. Let's select this one because that's not have a triangle. So it's kind of more of a good resolution. So I will just replace that, click on this one and that arrows. So it says replace the current asset in the editor with this asset. So you'll just replace it and then just turn off. So it just changed to glass frosted. Okay, let's see graphic appearance. You will say use rendered, so it will be white. So you can see the difference. Okay, just check on the use rendered. Identity is says glass frosted description class. Okay, so you have made a new material that says glass frosted. So once you finish, apply and say okay. And once you've done that, you will just go like select with the tab any of the material, the system panel glazed, go in edit type. Okay. Now we need to rename it. We need to duplicate this as the frosted panel because this is the glazed one. So if you just change the material here to frosted, all the glazed panel will change to white. So you don't have to change the material glass to frosted here, but you need to first duplicate it. Okay, always duplicate it and say frosted, okay, and say okay. The name frosted is already in use. Okay, close because I think I'm using the same uh project, the old project. So let's duplicate it. I will say frosted 2 because I already have one. Okay, I will say okay. Now I know that I have duplicated the frosted too. Now I can change the material of glass. And when you click on these here, just change that to glass frosted, the one we change it. So when you change it, say okay. Now you have the material glass frosted, apply and okay. Now when you see I just selected that one and I want to make that as a frosted, you can just use your tab and change to frosted 2. You can use tab to select the panel and change the system panel to frosted 2. And I just want to keep it the central one, so I just keep that in the frosted one. If what if you want to make this door as well a frosted one? So you can go in edit type, you will duplicate it and say frosted. Okay, once you're done, you can change the glass. Click on this glass, you will get this three dots. Change that to glass frosted and say okay. And if I say apply and okay, my door will be again in frosted too. So you can just do the same thing for level 12 as well. Okay, so that's it for today. And we will see in the class if you guys have any questions. Thank you.